Around. All about that hustle, am I right? You never know, Poor town! This is gonna be the best year ever! And nothing's gonna get in my way.
Except maybe a cute and fluffy red panda. Oh! Hello and welcome to another episode of the Forever Fangirls podcast. I am Sheila Amato, and you can find me and my wife on our website at foreverfangirls.com.
And I am Kimberly Amato, and you can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at foreverfanpod. Same handle, 3 socials.
We are your hosts, and we're glad you can join us.
Well, truthfully, we have a really good show for you today, and it's cute and fluffy. Just saying. We are going to be discussing Pixar's, the latest Pixar, I can't speak today, the animated film from Pixar, Turning Red.
As always, spoilers are ahead, so if you haven't seen Turning Red yet, please be aware that we will be talking about major plot points and themes. So pause us, watch the film, and then come back to listen to our discussion.
I started the banter music early again.
Well, not as early as you did the last time.
Yeah, that's true. I love the trailer, by the way, of this film.
You do?
Yep. You know why?
No. Oh, wait. Don't do it.
Everything I do never seems enough for you. You don't want to lose it, but I'm not like them.
Oh, my goodness.
Baby, when you finally get somebody, guess what?
It's going to be May.
That was my line.
I have to stop you somehow.
Wait. How about this then? A wood tiger and fire dragon walk into a bar.
Uh-huh.
Sizzle.
You know why they sizzle?
Why?
Because the tiger ate the dragon.
Well, I would say the dragon would eat the tiger because the dragon is fire and fire burns wood.
Let us go ahead and talk about Turning Red, shall we?
I'm just going to say that I was born in the year of the fire dragon and you were born in the year of the wood tiger, and it's gonna be May who wins.
May. Anyway, read the summary, please.
So the summary is gonna be from Disney Plus. Turning Red introduces Mei Lee, a confident, dorky 13-year-old torn between staying her mother's dutiful daughter and the chaos of adolescence. Her protective, if not slightly overbearing mother, Ming, is never far from her daughter, an unfortunate reality for the teenager. And as if changes to her interest, relationships, and body weren't enough, whenever she gets too excited, she just poofs into a giant red panda.
And it's really, any kind of major emotion, anger or anything like that, you just poofs. Poof. So the only other thing that I wanted to add here is that the movie is set in Toronto. Sorry.
I know, I say the T all the time. It's Toronto, but
Toronto.
It's not. It's Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto, Canada in 2002 when boy bands ruled. That's why you love the trailer. The iPad was changing the way we listen to music.
iPod?
Yes.
You said iPad?
I said iPod.
You said iPad.
I meant iPod.
It's okay. I love you.
The iPad was not yet invented at that time.
I don't know.
But the iPod was big. And the second movie from the Lord of the Rings trilogy was released. Could have actually done without that. The first one,
the second one was good, but there were things my brother and I were watching it going, not in the book, where they could have really made a 2-part and combined them.
That aside,
yeah, that's true.
Back to Turning Red. Let's go ahead and start our discussion about the good, because there's a lot.
I'm just going to have a tangent here for a real quick second. I never had an iPod. I had a Zune. I had a Microsoft Zune.
That thing.
And I had a creative, before that I had a creative little USB stick because I didn't want to carry around a big thing, and the USB stick I could shove in my pocket or clip somewhere.
The Zune was huge.
The Zune was huge, but I loved it.
Anyway.
And I had a huge screen on it. But anyway.
Now I just use my iPhone. But
that's true. Before we even really get started to discuss plot points and themes, and it is in the good, is that this film is the first all-female led film done from Pixar.
Yep. And, I actually found an article from The Hollywood Reporter that the Pixar president, Jim Morris, revealed that Turning Red was the fastest and most efficiently made movie in the company's history.
Whoa.
Right? And is it because women were at the helm? I don't know. But, if it's
and
the first,
considering this was done over the pandemic, that's saying something.
Well, they were finishing during the pandemic.
That's what I'm saying. They were dealing with working from home, and let's be honest, sometimes when you're doing a creative endeavor like this, it's easier
hard
to do it with people
Correct.
around you.
Yes.
So that's saying something.
Yeah. So we're going to link the article in our show notes page so that you can read the article. But as a slight tangent to that, it is related, and it's in celebration of International Women's Day. There's actually a Forbes article that I won't discuss here, except to say that it's actually a fascinating article about equality and exceptional women, and I'll leave it at that. But we'll have the link in the show notes page so that you can read it for yourself. It's a quick read, but it's really fascinating.
I will definitely add that. Continuing on with the good, though, I'm just going to throw this out there because, frankly, since Christina Yang came on my screen with Grey's Anatomy, I have loved Sandra Oh, and I think that she really... we were watching some of the behind-the-scenes stuff about this, and her expressions and the way she just puts everything into, even voice acting, her animations and everything else, and the way the animation reflected her movements, it just, you could see it. You'd be like, oh, I can totally see her doing that.
The facial expression of Ming, I could totally see Sandra Oh in that character. It was brilliant, I thought.
Thank you for saying it much more concise than I was. But yes, I agree. And I think that's a testament to not only the animators, but I love the inflection. And I think that all the voice talent brings this, but even, like the kids when they're beatboxing, which, by the way, as a random tangent, every time the one girl in the green with the crud, I don't remember her name, but she would start it off and it literally sounded like she was going boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. And once that was in my head, all I kept thinking of was Puss in Boots.
Oh, and then the
little eyes.
I was going to say the pussycat eyes.
Yes.
And then they had all of those too throughout the film as a homage to anime, but it was just like,
it was adorable. But yeah, I was going boots and cats and boots and cats. I felt so stupid at that moment.
But it was fun.
Yeah.
And speaking of fun, it actually was great to see, all of this fun little moments as they were talking about something serious, which was, change that occurs in life, right?
Yeah.
It just female kids grow up and they turn from adolescents to women.
And it's funny because we do see a lot of movies and animation films, whatever, where you will always see kids going through puberty, but it's usually muted for the women, and the boys, we all know. I don't remember a lot of discussions about women.
Well,
except for parodies and fun stuff. There's been some, but not as much.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's not a topic of discussion.
A taboo topic?
It is a taboo topic.
But that being said, I loved the dorkiness.
Well, because it is awkward. I mean, I remember when I was a teenager.
Yeah, but the way it was shown, though, there was a pride in the dorkiness, an acceptance of the dorkiness, and yet still being bullied, still being treated, like an outsider, but yet there was an acceptance, and that's just who they are.
Well, because she had a very strong foundation with her friends.
Yeah.
Right? It was
her squad.
Yeah, her squad. She had that safety net. So she had the freedom to be the math geek, and play the flute and be, I don't know, perfect at everything.
Yeah.
A straight A+ student.
Are you good at math? Because you are cute.
Oh, no. That was a dad joke, actually.
I know, and I loved it. I kind of want to add that to my repertoire. The animation, it reminded me very much of Lilo and Stitch. Not in the sense of how it was done, but in the sense of Lilo and Stitch is not perfect. Women have proportion. Mm-hmm. And what I liked here is when you're dealing with little girls are not all Barbie. Little girls are not all Elsa. Not everybody is the same. And I like, again, in the behind the scenes where they mention, the ankles are bigger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody is unique in their design. It feels more real and more representative of what is actually there.
Absolutely. And it's a good, that's a good word, actually. It's a representation of real life, and that's how it should be.
You don't want to see Elsa everywhere?
Well, I do see Elsa everywhere, but that's because it was snowing the other day.
You just got to let that go. God, dad joke number 2.
Oh my God. Anyway, so somewhat related to that, the thing that really resonated with me is the fact that this is a coming of age story, but it is happening to a little Chinese girl, right? And so, when she's with her friends, she's North American, right? Canadian. But then when she's at home, it's really traditional, and it was like that for me when I was growing up. When I was at home, okay, it's the Filipino culture, but then when I was in school, it was the American culture, and it was a very hard thing for me at times because I couldn't meld the two together. I struggled to try to figure out where I belong.
How did you process that?
Not very well. I mean, I didn't even think about it. I was just going through, okay, you know what? One foot in front of the other, just go through it. I didn't really pause to think, okay, why is this happening? Why am I feeling this way? Right? I was just going through the motions and trying to figure it out as I went along. It's only now that I've actually realized, you know what? That was such a struggle. And having you in my life actually helped me, talk things out so that I can try to figure them out a lot better. Because I in hindsight, I was actually very angry. I had my own little red panda going on because I didn't know how to handle that type of emotion. I didn't feel like I could talk to anybody. I didn't have a posse.
You didn't have a squad?
Like May, right? I didn't have a squad. So it was hard for me.
Anything I say at this point, I want you to understand that it does not at all appropriate.
No, I mean, it's your...
Yeah, I can't fathom or understand what you went through because I was born here. Mm-hmm. My mother was not. Mm-hmm. My grandmother was not. Mm-hmm. My mother came over here after World War II as a teenager. Mm-hmm. There were certain things, and I remember pointing it out to you, that I felt the same way. And in some way, I feel like I don't have the right to feel that way.
Well, to me, I understand why you feel that way because you're so close to your mom and to your grandmother. So it's almost similar to almost being there. I mean, I don't quite understand exactly what you're going through, but I understand why you feel that way. And maybe it's because of the lens that I have of having gone through it myself. We're both understanding of how the different cultures, when they mesh, can affect us.
One thing I just want to say real quick. My grandmother and I, we really struggled to communicate. There was a lot of, I guess just I'm very Americanized and she wasn't.
It's a cultural gap.
Yeah. And what made me feel so amazing is that you and my grandmother sat down, and even though, again, huge generation gap, you guys sat and had a conversation and meshed, and she loved you and respected you so much.
We talked about, what we talked about? We talked about Filipino brooms because she loved to clean.
Yes, but the idea is
it was our connection.
You spoke to one another. And what amazed me about that is because she could talk to you so openly and so calmly, no matter what brooms or not. she then changed and spoke to me differently. And because of you, I started understanding my grandmother more and my mother more. And I started speaking to them differently because I understood by you and I talking.
You need to be immersed in it. And sometimes that's why they say experience is the best teacher, right?
Well, because of you, the last years of my grandmother's life, I had a friend because I understood her on a different level.
See, now you're going to make me cry.
Well, then we might as well go into Bao because both of us just cry hysterically every time we see that.
Well, when Bao came out in 2018, I don't even remember which film it showed in front of, but I was just like bawling my eyes out because it was, to that point, the first film that I actually remember in such a small period amount of time that it showcased how it's really hard to adapt to a different culture when you're trying to keep true to your traditions. And I felt that in the short. And so Turning Red was just like, okay, Bao, 100 times more, right? It delved deeper. And the fact that Domishi was the director of Bao and she led this film and it's her first feature film, I'm like, oh my God, she was bad.
I cried at Bao a lot. And I cried in this film because when it comes to my grandmother, I just fall apart.
Yeah.
Again, different culture, not going to even fathom that I understand. When my grandmother accepted you, that is how I felt with Bao, because it was like, she's the one who told me, when are you going to marry her? I love her. You love her. When are you going to marry her? And I was like, I've been wanting to for a while. She's like, well, it's legal now in New York. She's the one who went with me to get your ring.
Well, see, I knew that. I didn't know that she was the one who actually asked you that.
Mm-hmm. I knew I was going to marry you, and I knew my mom knew. But when I was approaching the subject with my grandmother, I was very scared. And she's just like, when are you going to do it already? You love each other. Love is so powerful. When are you going to do it? Oh. And that to me was that whole thing of Bao, when you bring the girl home and the mother's like crying, and that's what I expected.
Yeah.
But what I got was the ending.
They were making pork buns together.
Oh, I really need to know how to make those.
Okay. I don't know how to make those. Don't even look at me.
They look so good.
So, shall we go into themes then?
Well, I was going to say I love the humor.
Okay.
But, that's just, it's going to be May thoughts.
Aye. Okay. So, with that, should we go into themes then?
Be who you truly are, live your truth.
Mm.
I think that's the biggest theme.
Yeah. For me, and I asked you this, why does May have red hair? Because both her parents are Asian. And then, towards the end of the movie, then we realized, it's because they have the red panda in them. And once they pass through and let the panda go, then their hair turns black. So I'm like, oh, look at that. Okay. But then accepting the fact that you're different, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are beautiful the way you are.
The father says something on the bed when he sees the videotape that May and her friends had been recording.
Yeah.
And he says, everybody has a side of them. Some of them we don't like, but it's there.
Yep.
And you just have to accept whatever it is. There's a yin with a yang, darkness and good. There's a lot of gray in human beings. And I loved that conversation the father had, because sometimes it takes an outside party to get you to see things when you're involved in it.
Because it's really hard to see the fishbowl when you're in the bowl.
And the thing is, I know, like I would say, but your mother would be able to guide you, or you'd be able to guide you, but you're both in the fishbowl.
Yeah. And the fact that he said, I like this in the video, it made him laugh.
Mm-hmm.
It showed a side of him to May, I think, that her father sees her for who she is and encourages that difference. Because sometimes we need that positive reinforcement, right?
She was happy.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
He just saw her being happy
Yeah.
and having fun. And, but I did notice underneath the bed, some of her grades, there looked like there was a C.
Yes.
Under the bed.
Because and that was the other thing that I really could relate to this, because I used to be, oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry for the tangent, but I have to say this. When I was in high school, I used to get so upset when I got an A-. I was that person.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember throwing a tantrum that I didn't get an A+ because I missed an extra credit question. I was like, I'm terrible. I'm horrible. And then when I finally started having fun and trying different things so that I'm not uberly focused on studies, my grades fell to like B. And I actually was okay with that because now I was experiencing something new that I'd never experienced before. And it made me feel like I was learning something new that was always there, that I just never got a chance to explore. And it was fabulous. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because I got C's anyway. No, but I also had like problems in school, but that actually is really fascinating because I never knew that. I
thought I told you that. Mm-mm. Oh, well, yeah, I was that person.
What do you mean you were that person? I think that's amazing.
Well, but, I needed to find balance, right? I could not find the balance because I thought that the only way to be was this perfect, straight A+ student. And then I ended up dropping out of college anyway.
Well, see, that's also fascinating because when you met me, the way I perceived you was this adventurous, oh my God, don't worry about that, run and do whatever you wanted to do. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, the way you perceived me was I was a get your stuff done, everything must be organized, everything must be rigid, we have to do it a certain way.
Yes, you were very strict, but to me, you were also not willing to take any risks. That's how I saw you.
And I saw you as taking risks without thinking.
Yes, and that's why we
are yin and yang.
Exactly.
Fire dragon, wood tiger.
It works. Thinking about other themes here, the one thing that we both noticed and then saw again in the behind the scenes was that there were the color schemes in this whole film like had a specific story, right? Mm-hmm. The red panda is May, and then her mother is green, like they're diametrically opposed. And they're like two rams ramming horns. It's just fascinating to me that they really took that.
They went really deep into it. Everything was purposeful.
Yeah.
And I like that towards the end, Ming understands that May wants to go out with her friends and go to karaoke and do all this other stuff. Whereas in the beginning, it was like, no, I've got responsibilities. But May also understands that she needs to help out with the family business and help her mom and help her dad, and we'll be home for dinner. And then all of a sudden Ming's like, bring your friends. There's a balance between the two. And I like that it came full circle like that.
Yeah. It actually reminded me as you were talking about, that quote about if you truly love someone, let them go. Because if they were meant to be yours, then they'll come back. And that is what true love is.
I never let you go.
Never let go, Jack.
I didn't, and we both fit on the damn door. Anyway, we're going to go right into the bad because I'm just going to say it like it is.
Oh, goodness.
Disney should have released this to theaters, and I'm rather perturbed they put it straight to Disney+. And I think Chopek is a CEO?
Chapek,
that's how his name is. He is failing miserably. I understand a lot of people have opinions. There is no reason, none, that this should not have gone to theaters.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It should have been marketed better. It should have been sent to theaters. It should have had its 45-day release window, which I think is fair. Mm-hmm. Because after 45 days, usually there's another film waiting to fill its spot, and it makes a ton of money. Not everything is Endgame and Infinity War. 45 days is great, and then go ahead and put it on your streaming service. There is absolutely, unequivocally, no reason for Pixar movies to constantly be released on Disney Plus when Disney released Encanto to theaters. None. Absolutely none.
Yeah. And I don't know what the full story is there. But
I don't either.
I agree with you. I think that this movie would have been really well received. I mean, it was released to international theaters.
Exactly. Why? What is going on with Disney? What is this man doing?
Yeah, well,
there's a lot of missteps between their parks and films.
I was going to
and
say,
whatnot.
I'm not even going to touch Genie Plus because
Let's not even touch the Florida statement on Don't Say Gay. All of this stuff. No. Theaters are open. The Batman did well. Why? Why isn't it out there?
And the only thing that I could think of is that, this was because this was a different film made by women. Maybe that's not it.
And by people of color?
But it's just, it feels that way,
And it shouldn't. And the fact that we're questioning if it was because it was a woman, if it was because it was all women, if it was because of women of color behind it, the fact that we're discussing that is a problem.
Mm-hmm. Despite the fact that it was the most efficient movie ever made in Pixar's history.
If they continue putting Pixar projects released directly to Disney Plus without them being told beforehand, without folks working at Pixar saying, hey, we're going to get you started on this film. This film is specifically made for Disney Plus. That will never go to theaters. This is a 5-year project.
Is it 5 or 4?
I believe it was 5.
Oh.
So they've been working on this for how long with the intent of it being seen a specific way.
Yeah.
And now you're saying no. Do I think that modern home theater systems can handle it? Of course. Even a regular television screen, a small one, this would look superb. Mm-hmm. But that's not the point. If you tell someone something is going to happen, enough is enough. Just do it. All right? We're not still under quarantine at home.
Yeah.
This isn't 2020 summer. This isn't 2021 summer. There was no reason for it. None. And I've said that about 5 times. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And I just wanted to, again, remind folks that the Forbes article that's going to be in the show notes page, read that. Because, again, there's tidbits there that is very salient here to our discussion. Anyway.
And another thing that's a bad for me, and again, has nothing to do with the film, and this should tell you something. If I'm bringing up things that disgust me, and I say disgust, normally I'll say, well, I kind of didn't like this. These disgust me.
But it's not to do with the film.
It has nothing to do with the film. That should tell you something. Mm-hmm. I read reviews on this. And I sometimes peruse them to get an idea.
See, I try not to because I'll get inflamed.
I got so frustrated because I'm reading review after review after review of people yelling and being so upset that pads were shown, that periods were discussed. It seems normal, that they're missing the point.
Yeah, they are missing the point. And it's one of those things where you feel like it's the nitpicky part that they're really focusing on because it's the thing that makes them uncomfortable. And then you know what? Don't watch the movie.
There's something wrong that we cannot discuss a period. Women get periods. Guess what? They get pregnant too. You know what? Let's have little Kimmy history here. I was young on my first period. And I came home and I had no idea what the hell was going on with me. Do you know what happened?
I'm almost afraid to ask.
Oh, okay. We're gonna. First off, my dad freaked out and was like, "Oh my God, I'm never buying tampons. Don't ask me to do that." Which I deliberately wanted to ask him once he said that. I got the talk. I got the full talk. Not only the full talk. Okay, my mother, when she found out I had my first period, got on the phone with my grandmother. Kimberly's a woman. It got all over my family.
Oh,
okay.
No.
So when they were talking about it, I was literally crawling. I was trying to become one with the couch because that awkwardness that May felt, I understood that.
Okay. See, I never had that talk, so I never experienced that. So
yeah, you were like, what are you doing? But my point is, this happens.
Yeah, it's a natural phase of life.
And at the end of the day, anyway. But let's be realistic. If we actually had more stuff like this where women conversed about this and young girls understood the change was happening and it was okay, guess what? Maybe women's rights would not be up for debate.
It would be a normalized thing.
It would be an understood, oh, okay, she deserves health care, she deserves this, and all this other stuff. And I'm not trying to get political, but it just really started to grate on me how many reviews said the same thing. Why were there pads? Women, period, shouldn't be discussed. Look, it happens every month, and let me break it to you. At some point in your life, someone brought you into the world because they had a period.
Yeah, I told you that when you were going off on the review, on the last review that you read. So
yeah.
Yes,
but you get my point, and that is extremely, in my opinion, it knocks down the reviews and misses the point of the entire film.
Yeah, but again, maybe they were not the audience,
and that's fine too. Just say you're not the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Or express, hey, I felt a lot of discomfort because they were talking about this, so we turned it off. Just be aware it's in there if you feel uncomfortable. But the way they were phrased, it was like, it was trash. This is horrible. This should not be discussed. Wow. There were so many pads. Really?
It was one scene.
It was like 2, I think.
But anyway. Okay. Shall we move on to the cute?
Well, no, there's one thing that I was confused about. So
okay.
I can't say it's a bad about the film, but it was something that felt, I don't want to say disjointed or off, but I didn't understand.
Mm.
At the end, all of the ants, the mama, mama panda is, a vicious 9,000 foot tall panda that's destroying the poor Rogers Center, which was the Skydome?
Skydome,
yeah.
It's the Rogers Center now.
Yeah. They break the medallions, talisman things that hold their panda in it. When they go to the bamboo forest where their ancestor is and they give away the panda again, I don't understand why. In the case of Ming, they always say that the panda is a part of you. It could be dark, it could be good, it could be this. Why is her panda that way? Why was it so aggressive and so this and so that? What is it about it? How does the panda become, and maybe it's me overthinking, but why did the panda become that? And why would they give up the panda again after seeing what it does for May and seeing how May is? And then when they do give it away, when the ancestor comes down, when May says, am I going to regret this? The ancestor embraces May and embraces the panda, and they become pandas and float in the sky and all this fun stuff. But I didn't understand why give it up again. And was that something that I missed and it's not meant for me to understand? Or was that something that was missed in the script and just assumed that you would follow because maybe that was how they were raised and that's just how they've lived their lives their whole time and they don't know how to handle it like May does?
It's possible. Yeah. That's how I took it, actually, that, they just want to hide that piece of themselves and they want to stay within their own traditions. I mean, they're still very much involved in all of their traditional roots. So May was being integrated into a different culture. So she is learning how to balance that. All of her relatives, older relatives, didn't do that. So that's what I took from it. That's my takeaway.
Okay. So would you mind if I transition into the cute then? And there's something about the same scene.
I wanted to do the cute. So.
Okay. So going into the cute, the fact that the ancestor accepted May completely. Mm. One of the things that we see a lot is that family uses their ancestors and, you're disrespecting this family, et cetera, and to see the ancestor take May in their arms and fully lovingly accept them was just so, it was cute, it was good.
And I think it was more, letting May know because she was afraid that she was making the wrong decision, right? Her mom, her grandmother, and all of her aunts, they let the panda go, but she wasn't willing to do that. And there's always doubt with that because you're the first to not follow in their footsteps. So I think the ancestor giving her that nudge is telling her, look, you are who you are. Your path is going to be different. Just embrace it. I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm here.
Yeah.
I've got you no matter what.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
Yeah. What else is cute? Oh, you actually pointed this out. I didn't see it. I just saw that there were donuts there, but there were Tim Hortons donuts, Timbits.
And the father stole one.
Yeah. In the commotion, like, no sugar.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I would do. You would say no sugar, and then as soon as you look away, I'd be like,
did you just eat a Timbit?
nope. While I'm going with my mouth full.
You know what I would say to that?
What?
Bye, bye, bye. Don't want to be a fool for you.
You and your boy bands.
Which is cute.
Ah.
They were so adorable.
Anyway.
Tamagotchis.
Huh?
The little character that she carried around. And then Ming at the end, she's like, oh, this thing is so hungry all the time.
See, I never...
Tamagotchi, I had one of them.
Of course you did. I was like, what is that thing?
Do not make fun of me.
I am not making fun of you.
Cute and fluffy.
Yay. But yeah, you know,
cute and fluffy.
what's funny is that her friends were saying, you know, you're so cute and fluffy. But then, you know, in the bathroom when she first made the transformation, she was smelling herself like, oh, I stink. And I'm like, okay, they're saying she's cute and fluffy and like nuzzling her fur, but it's not like, it doesn't smell bad. Like, I was confused with that.
She found Panda deodorant.
I missed that then.
Panda Fresh. 3 sprays and you'll smell clean all day. Panda Fresh.
Oh my goodness. What other cutes are there? The normal Pixar Easter egg stuff, right?
Yeah, the Pixar ball that the yellow star is in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
The pizza truck is parked on the side of the road when they're running down the street. The A113, I believe, is on the...
It was in the chalk
end.
thing.
Yeah, the chalk
right?
thingy. Bow references.
Yeah, this whole movie was all about... That's why I wanted to see Bow first, because I was like, oh my gosh, there's just so many references to it.
Yeah. There was a
lot. The food. Yum, yum.
I really want to learn how to make... I want to say how I want to make Bow, because... not the film, but like the dumplings?
Yes.
Are they dumplings?
I call them like pork buns, but they might not be any more cute.
No.
Okay. So then I guess that wraps up our discussion of Turning Red.
Very long discussion.
Well, we had a lot of tangents this time around.
Yes, we did.
But it was all relevant, so it's all good. So, drum roll, please. We rate Turning Red 4.5 stars. Yay! And we agree on this rating.
As I mentioned earlier, I saw a lot of reviews saying this film was marketed poorly. There was too many references to different female things, missed the mark, and the audience is lost, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Personally, I think the film just wasn't for those reviewers, and that is absolutely okay. I was in my early 20s when the time frame of this film was based, and I found it relatable. Everything I told you about the talk and my first period, all of that. My whole point about everything that I said today was that the film spoke of change and accepting things outside of your control, discovering who you are, accepting that. If that isn't a beautiful message, that we should all respect and love one another, I really don't know what is. I know the world would be a better place if we all followed that advice. And again, I know it was packaged in a different way, one that people are not accustomed to seeing. But I just ask you to give it a chance, to look beyond the fascia and actually see the acceptance and love that is buried within this film.
Mm-hmm. Because, at the end of the day, we're really all the same, right?
Yeah.
And for me, the thing that resonated with me is the struggle to balance life as an immigrant in this country, learning a new culture while still trying to be true to your roots and to show reverence to my parents, because they sacrificed so much to give us a better life here. And I've come to learn all these years later that there is space for both. The world is wide enough. I just needed to learn to accept it.
Make me cry.
Well, you made me cry earlier, so there.
It's your fault.
Anyway, this is a very emotional show. Sorry.
God must have spent a little more time.
Oh my goodness.
You. I have literally found a boy band song for every situation.
Anyway, let's wrap this up, shall we?
But I'm gonna completely say that is our show for today, folks. I know that it's kind of like this is a longer episode, but we did kind of skim over a lot of stuff, like the Forbes article, etc. If there's something that you saw in the film that we missed, please tell us, because sometimes we record and then we absolutely go, oh wow, we forgot to mention this or we forgot to mention that. You can find us on our socials, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Forever Fan Pod. Reach out. Let us know, what we missed and what you really liked. You can also leave us a message on speakpipe.com/Forever Fangirls podcast. And as always, like and subscribe.
And until next time, stay safe, be kind, and remember, as May says, yeah, sometimes I miss how things were, but nothing stays the same forever. We've all got an inner beast. We've all got a messy, loud, weird part of ourselves hidden away. And a lot of us never let it out. But I did. How about you?